Module 6, Section 6, Objective 1. We're going to develop pattern recognition and number sense using decimals. Okay, these may look similar than what we've done in the past. However, they are one step trickier because now we can add, subtract, multiply, divide, all that other kind of stuff, but we also now have decimals. And as you can see, negatives still play a part. Okay? So, what I like to do is look at the numbers first, see what they're doing, and then look at the decimals after. Okay, so to go from 3 to 9 to 27. Okay, so from 3 to 9, we either added 6 or we timesed by 3, right? So which of those do we do going from 9 to 27? And it's going to be the times by 3. Okay, so if we times by 3 every time, that means we're going to times by 3 here, and it will be an 81, times by 3 here, and it'll be a 243. However, now we have the decimals to deal with. Okay, so here there's 1 decimal, here there are 2, here there are 3. Okay, so this one needs 4 decimals, so there's 2. I need 2 more zeros and a decimal. You can put the 0 in front if you want. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimals. Now we're going to do 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. And there you go. Okay, let's take a look over at this one now. You can see the numbers haven't changed, have they? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have a 1, 2, 3 in both of these. Oops, looks like I don't have it completely on. There we go. But the decimal has moved, hasn't it? Okay, so here, the decimal's at the end because it's a whole number. And now if it was at the end, it has moved 2 places to the left. Okay, so it was in between the 1 and the 2, but now it has moved 2 places to the left. Okay, so decimal moves left 2. Okay, so if I go 2 more places to the left, I'm going to need 2 more zeros before the 1 starts, right? So 1, 2, and there is the 1, 2, 3 again. So it was after the first 0, but now you can see it's moved 2 places over. Okay, so 2 more places over means I need to add 2 more zeros right in there, right? So instead of 3 zeros before the 1, 2, 3, we're going to have 5. Okay, so in this case, the decimal was the pattern. In that first one, we had to do something with the numbers and the decimals. Okay, let's take a look at this one. There's a decimal in it. There's a negative in it. Okay, so with this particular one, where do we start, right? There doesn't seem to be a pattern at all. If I go from 6 and I go down to 2.4, okay, I'm going down, so I could either be dividing by something or subtracting. Okay, now looking at from a positive to a positive, I would have to divide by a positive. However, this next part I get from a positive to a negative, which means I'd have to divide by a negative to get the signs to change. So that means negative, or try it again, the dividing is not going to work. It has to be subtracting. Okay, so let's see. If I start at 6 and I go down to 2.4, yes, you can do this on your calculator, but I don't have one here to show you. So So 10 minus 6, or 4 is 6, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So we've subtract 3.6 to get from 6 to 2.4. Okay, do I subtract 3.6 to get to there? Okay, so negative 3.6, positive 2.4. Yep, we're going to subtract and keep the sign of the biggest one, sure enough. Okay, so we want to subtract 3.6 again. So negative 1.2, subtract 3.6. Basically, you do a change, and it's a negative again, right? So we're going to add and keep the sign. So we're going to have a negative 4.8 right there. And then negative 4.8 subtract 3.6, adding, keeping the sign because the signs are the same, negative 8.4. Okay, and once again, you can do all of this stuff on a calculator. It's just I don't have one to show you. All right, one more. Okay, so to get from 10 to 15, we're getting bigger, right? We're increasing. So we're either going to be multiplying or adding. Okay, so let's see. If I'm multiplying, getting from 10 to 15, what am I multiplying by? Okay, to figure that one out, you do where you ended up divided by where you were, divide them both by 5, so we get 3 halves. I'm timesing by 3 halves, if that's the case. Okay, so multiplying by 3 halves, or in this first case, I added 5, but I didn't add 5 here, did I? I added 7.5. And then to get from here to here, it looks like I added 11.25. Okay, so if you can find the pattern going from here to here, you could figure out what to add here, so you could figure out what to get here. That just seems way too complicated. So let's see if this 3 halves works. Okay, so we're back to this point. So, do I times 15 by 3 halves? Now, because we're doing decimals, you might want to switch it. So in that case, you would do 3 divided by 2. Put a decimal and some zeros. 2 goes into 3 once. And 5 times evenly, so 1.5. Okay, so let's say we're timesing by 1.5. So let's do 15 times 1.5. Okay, so if this does give me 22.5, woohoo, now it looks like it does, then we're in business, right? So we're going to probably times by 1.5 every time. Okay, and I'm just going to tell you it does work right there, doing 22.5 times 33.7, or times 1.5 equals 33.75. So now on your calculator, you're going to do 33.75 times 1.5, and you end up with 50.625. So that's our next number up top. And then you're going to take the 50.625 and times it by 1.5, right? Because this process is going to happen again, and it's times 1.5 each time. So down here, when I do this last part on a calculator, we end up with 75.9375, which is our answer. Okay, so there you go. So you have to figure out whether you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Watch your signs and watch your decimals.